So let's jump into Spectre. All right, well, Spectre, why not?
I want to because we had to do that together. I saw both Spectre. Well, Matthew and I saw yesterday at separate locations. I was down south.
And I was in the east once again.
I want to talk about Spectre because I need to have the bad first, and then get wash out my palette with the good.
All right. See what you had to say, and then I'll jump in, right? So
if you like Spectre, this is the good point to leave.
Yeah. Spectre.
I mean, stick around. Stick around. You might want to hear this. Yeah.
Stop. Exactly. Simple rule of thumb. This does not need to be so convoluted. Bond films are simpler than this. Why did they do it like this? There's no reason for that. Stop overcomplicating this stuff. It's simple. Yes. So, first problem with this movie for me. At no point you got the sense of a lived-in universe with this movie. At least with Casino Royale, like that film. Why?
Yeah.
Because it was exactly the type of reboot that Bond needed at the time. It was a shot in the arm the franchise needed. Die Another Day was a ridiculous movie.
Right? It was.
Borderline Austin Powers ridiculous.
Yeah, and funny enough though, the director of Casino Royale was the same one who directed GoldenEye, which brought back the franchise in the 90s with Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, wow.
And then when the franchise more or less took a nosedive with Die Another Day, he came back and kicked the franchise in the ass with Casino Royale.
Casino Royale was and look, I like Daniel Craig as an actor. Love Layer Cake, love his movies. He does a lot of great stuff. But he looked really bland. He was always a kind of bland Bond. But because Casino Royale sold such a great script of having him be this kind of grounded, gritty Bond, it worked.
Yeah, tuggish, ruggish Bond, as I call him.
Yeah, exactly. It totally worked for me. And I was like, but with the following film, I'll just say off the bat, I don't think this Spectre is as bad as
Quantum of Solace.
But
you forget the name and all. First was that bad.
Yeah, no, but forget Quantum of Solace. That's the name everyone seems to remember on the internet.
Yeah, but that title makes no sense. Though.
Exactly, that's why everyone remembers it.
They explain it, but it was
they explain the quantum part. They didn't explain Solace, but anyway.
Whatever. The thing is, he has a big problem with these films, and it just showed that they don't have faith enough in their own franchise. Because with every sequel to Casino Royale, you get the feeling that it's following a trend. Like that's how it felt to me. So when I watch Quantum of Solace has this terribly edited opening sequence.
Oh my god, the car chase.
It is
assault on the eyes. It's assault on the eyes, folks. Yeah.
Horribly edited opening sequence. And you know what they try to rip off? A Bond film.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
Bond was big and
action needs to be born.
When Quantum of Solace ended, I was like, okay, it just showed that Bond is now the quintessential 21st century spy film, and Bond is the quintessential 20th century spy film.
And the funny thing is, you like, I don't know if you ever watched Quantum of Solace again, but I did. Like, I actually recapped the previous.
I barely could tell. Here's the reason I watched that over is because I fell asleep.
Oh, in the theater.
I was in movie town at the time. I was sitting down and I remember, I don't know, look, I probably had a bad week or something, and I just worked too hard or something like that. I fell asleep, and then when some explosion happened, I woke back up and I was like, wait, I missed like a good chunk of the movie. And then I went back. I had to go back to see it just for the sake of quote unquote, just to see the entirety of the film.
Yeah, but the thing is, for a Bond film, it is ridiculously short.
Yeah.
It clocks in like about an hour and 45 minutes max.
And it was basically which is really ridiculous because Bond is a ripoff of Bond in many ways. In terms of the books, if you know the books, if you know Ludlum versus what of Bond?
Fleming.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what happened to John Carter of Mars.
Same, right.
That's what happened to John. No, because every sci-fi, and I'm going to say this right now, and there are many people going to get upset with me, but I'm just going to say this. Every sci-fi movie, adventure movie is a rip-off John Carter. In fact, Flash Gordon,
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon was made because the comic company couldn't get the rights to John Carter, so they had to make up their own character. Yeah. And then George Lucas based that on Star Wars, and then it comes out. Yeah. And so of course, when John Carter then comes out, everyone says, oh, this is a ripoff. But I've read the original John Carter books. It is a faithful adaptation, yet people seem to insist that, it's a knockoff. Oh, it's Thor, it's Star Wars. Of course it is. It's made Thor and Star Wars.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
But the whole jumping thing was really funny, though.
It's the gravity thing. It's actually kind of...
that was hilarious.
I think one of the things that inspired Superman, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's kind of reverse Superman.
Right.
He's on another planet, so he's easier there.
So
Spectre.
First, so here's the problem. Then Skyfall comes out.
Which I love, by the way.
I like
love
Skyfall. Here's the only thing that saved Skyfall for me was Roger Deakins.
Yes, the cinematography in that show is amazing.
Yeah, he's a celebrity cinematographer at this point.
Yeah.
You know, your hair off the top of your head is again much like the last film we did, Sicario.
Yeah.
The Sicario review. He's one of the few cinematographers I could think off the top of my head, other than say Wally Feister. That I say, well, this is a cinematographer in this film. I'm going to see it because of this. But then, what Skyfall was, again, following a trend, it was pretty much the Dark Knight. It was the Dark Knight. The same, I'm the villain and I'm getting caught intentionally because it's part of my plan and I'm this kind of weird guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, stop it.
And you felt like it was leading to something tragic.
Here's the worst part about Spectre. When Spectre played out and I started watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Hail Spectre. That's what it was.
You know, I actually thought the same thing too. That whole secret organization thing, that's Hydra.
It's the same story. It's the same. Well, we need to change things up because of let's get rid of the old ways. But you realize it's a backdoor for the real bad guys too.
From what I hear, is what kind of messed up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Dude. Well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got better after the whole Hydra stuff. That's actually pretty bad.
No, because my sister follows Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D. My point is that
she hates it.
My point is that Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was awesome because it took Bond stuff and it felt like a dark kind of spy thriller kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing: because you have a comic book movie doing serious thing, you get it. It's awesome. With Spectre, it's a movie that is totally serious, but then they start putting all this silly nonsense into it. And they're trying to go back to the old...
Yeah, that's the excuse, that they're trying to go back to how it was from before.
Right.
So it more or less starts over.
But
the clock kind of rewinds from the end of Skyfall.
Skyfall does a fantastic job at that, in my opinion. It reboots the franchise in a really good way.
Yeah.
This reboots the franchise in terms of rebooting the new characters and bringing into the old Bond, the Sean Connery stuff, in the worst possible way. I'm talking about... This is the worst of all worlds. This is the anti-Leibnizian, narrative of paradigm of this is not how to do things. Everything did not fill in at all. There's only one thing I like in this movie. One thing. No. Every action sequence is bland and terrible in this too. No, there's one thing. There's this nice long take in the beginning.
Oh yes, the opening scene. Yeah.
That's it. This really cool. It was they did in Mexico, and they had this really long one take.
Yeah, one take is following Bond from the festivities to the building and things.
Great music playing and the real, everything cool and sexy, and then Bond does his thing.
Right.
And the action sequence is pretty boring and forgettable. It's just this helicopter spinning. That was it. All right. Okay. Yeah. Stunts with a helicopter. I suppose that's impressive.
Wow.
I find like just the end of that intro alone, it didn't wow me. It was just like, oh, it's done. Okay.
Every action sequence.
And
here's the problem with stuff. And again, this was a really... If you think about it, the movie was incredibly sloppy.
Right.
Sloppy sequence number one. Batista coming into the film.
Yeah, but Batista's like the big henchman.
Right.
He's like the odd job.
He's the odd job of this, right? He's the odd job
franchise.
of this movie, right? The Jaws, the odd job.
Yeah.
Like Jaws or odd job, similar, the muscle.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be in the film, Bond's supposed to kick his ass, back and forth, right? Here's the thing. So the Spectre meeting going on, and they get this flimsy reason of how it is he get to Spectre, the bad guy Spectre.
Right.
Christoph Waltz's character, which they reveal as something which is so stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, it was, but I will probably mention it.
They've been hinting at Spectre since the original Bond series, right? This is kind of overarching.
Right.
You'll see. Yeah, I'll explain.
Batista comes in. So he comes in and apparently, what is some guy, he fails at his job or something like that. So like, he comes in, he's like, do we have anyone who's willing to step up or something like that? And then Batista just walks in. What's your resume?
Walks in from the shadows right. Like, ugh.
He walks in and then, what's your resume? And then he just he slams the guy on the table and then digs his eyes out. Kind of a badass sequence actually. And then he breaking on neck and he's like, well, that's basically, he's a badass. And I was like, wait, so that man, all of his expertise, all of his importance, he just gone? That is it?
Know what I mean?
And they try to hype it up as, well, you're gonna enter a world of no mercy. Like, that's no mercy. My point is that this guy does not know this man at all. He's automatic henchman. He just jumps into the universe. Now, all they had to do is say, look, you see him standing on the side of Christoph Waltz's character. He's the main bad guy. And then he does that stuff just to hammer it home as him being a badass. Right. You don't need to do this.
Which is the traditional way of doing things.
Thank you.
They just have him come out of nowhere and bam.
You know what oddly this reminds me of?
Second sequence.
Okay.
Wait. No, that's how...
Because this is odd.
Because
I haven't seen any James Bond movies, but heresy, I know. But what you're talking about, this actually reminds me of a scene from the Pink Panther. One of the Pink Panther sequels, The Revenge of the Pink Panther, because that's the movie where the French mob says they want to take out Inspector Clouseau. Yeah. Right. And so there's this one scene where he assembles all these tough henchmen and assassins in the room. They're all standing. You get some menacing shots of them. And he explains all of them, and they're all top of their line. He says, "So these are going to kill Clouseau? Oh no, they're here to kill Mr. Fong." Who the hell's Mr. Fong? They bring in the other assassin who's from Hong Kong, and he's this and he's the assassin who pretty much takes out all the other assassins and they send him to go. So
no, but and then James Wan has a chase scene. The chase scene is utterly mediocre. By the way, every action sequence in this is terrible. Another thing is that
they filmed well though, but I don't know. Just from for me, it just didn't have that excitement factor.
No, it had its occasional cinematography moments that was fine, you know.
Yeah.
But again, this was a really weak movie though. Seriously, I don't think it's as bad as Quantum, but I'm kind of putting it there on Moonraker levels though. It's pretty low.
Yeah, Moonraker was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was really pretty because everything was just so nothing worked. It had everybody I liked, so they had like Monica Bellucci. This is the big selling point that she's the oldest.
The oldest Bond.
Right, but she's still looking damn good. Not denying but she was like in the movie for 2 minutes. She didn't fit into the narrative at all. Then they had Lea Seydoux, like her, great actress, loving a lot of movies. Blues the Warmest Color, pretty good in that.
Yeah, great movie too.
She doesn't do anything.
What was her role really?
Arbitrary. She was the guy's daughter, and she was supposed to be. And again, I thought they would make her a big action thing, and they would do something. Nothing.
Right.
What else?
But Moneypenny though, they wasted her character.
Totally wasted.
Oh my god, they wasted her.
Yeah, totally wasted. And I was like, oh, Naomi Harrison is good, banging, she looking good as usual, and then you're like, give she some little action, nothing.
She wasn't even there that much in Skyfall, and she did enough. You know what I mean?
But this film was a structural mess. Now, here's the thing. Before this film was started filming, I remember hearing the little buzz in Hollywood, usual buzz.
Yeah.
I heard the script was bad. That's what we heard.
Alright, but the ironic thing is from the same. Well, alright, I know they changed. I know it's these two guys, Neil or John Purvis or one of those.
Right.
It's like three guys that they always have from before. Well, John Logan was there from Casino Royale.
Right.
And then with Skyfall, he left, and the other two guys stayed on. So he brought on somebody new for this one here. But you know what I mean? It's people that have experience with writing these stories. They know the characters.
But I don't know what because
what happened.
A lot of the dialogue is stilted in this because that opening sequence with Bond and right after the big action sequence, so Bond goes back to M, and M kind of tries to choose him out. You know, the usual give me a gun and a badge nonsense, and I was like,
everybody cop.
This was this was really dry though. I was like, what, this back and forth, just like what going on, Judd?
Yeah, it wasn't
every time I watch
smart
it,
though.
yeah, every time I watch it, it's like, wait, they just rushed this take. It didn't feel like a best take. It felt really dry.
Yeah, and one scene in particular, it's when Bond gets a package. No, sorry, Moneypenny gets a package, and Bond leaves the office right after he talks to M. So there's this nice shot of him walking, and Moneypenny's right behind. It's like, Bond, I'm sorry, James, I have this package for you. What is it? This package just came in the mail. Okay, just drop it for me.
No, but that's
I just felt kind of like, you know, where was the chemistry from last time? You know?
Right, no, exactly. This showed that Daniel Craig. It really showed Daniel Craig as a pretty damn weak Bond, though. Because
apparently he's not very interested in it.
He's dry. It was huge. Everybody felt like they didn't want to be there. That's the big takeaway from this.
In interviews, Daniel Craig's been saying that, because there's kind of rumor flowing, he's not the biggest Bond fan.
No, he always kind of didn't really care, but he lent a strength that worked. They worked the strength around him, which is fine. Who cares if the actor cares? Just be a good. I don't care if the actor cares. Just be good enough that you care about the material and the work, not the
bring your own style and flavor into it, which is what all the other Bonds
respect the role.
Yeah.
The thing is, everybody felt like they didn't want to be there. That's what came across. It really came across like that to me.
Especially M.
Ray Fiennes did not want to be there.
Oh
my God. Ray Fiennes' attitude was like, I need to go to sleep now. Come on. It's my bedtime. It was bad. The world didn't fill in at all. Again, nothing made sense in terms of like how this works. So another scene with Batista. Batista catches them on the train. So they have this fight on the train.
Yeah, which is straight off from Russia with Love, by the way. That train fight scene.
Here's the thing though, is that people in the train and then people just suddenly vanish.
Oh yeah, that's true though.
Yes. And I was like, where all the people go on do is like tractor beams, aliens just pull them up and then they start to fight. It was again
emergency action scene evacuation.
No, guys, this really felt like they really half-assed this movie. Another scene, terrible. The girl get kidnapped, little chase sequence. Bond magically gets his airplane. How we get the airplane?
How we get the airplane?
And I was like, "Oh, you serious with this?" It was bad.
Airplane.
Yeah. They didn't link anything. They had this final action sequence where he had to get away, and they show these arrows falling. So he just decided to make this jump, and he fall in a net. And I was like, okay, they had arrows, so somebody was helping out. I thought we would see who helping him out.
Right, and the whole convenience of having that net, though. I mean,
right? No, I thought somebody set the building up to help that out.
Right.
So again, I just try to I take two steps toward you, so you can take one step toward me. I want this to be coherent. But it didn't have that. Main villain, stupid script. My God,
main villain, stupid script.
Stupid script. What the big reveal there? Do I want to spoil it? I mean, I know.
No, don't.
I want to do the what I call spoiler FU, as in I don't want people
to see
to care about this movie. But seriously, guys, you probably need to skip this movie though. It was kind of bad.
I don't know. I mean, as someone, I'm planning. I'm one of those kind of film masochists. If I'm gonna watch Bond, I'm just gonna crash watch everything.
Yeah,
You
will need like a week to do that.
It wasn't as I say. I don't think it was bad as Gold. No, just ranking compared to the other Bonds. I've seen all the Bonds.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a super Bond nerd, but I watch all the movies and I read a few of the books. And I know enough of the movie.
wow.
I know enough about the material to say, all right, this is where they get this from. This is what this.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. It's not Man with the Golden Gun. It's not that bad. It's not Moonraker.
But that had Christopher Lee. How bad could it be?
You'd be surprised, eh?
Yeah.
No, that was a terrible movie. That was pretty bad. It's not Quantum of Solace, right? But I'll have to straight up say, I'm gonna straight up say it. The Pierce Brosnan films, all of them were better than this one.
Even Die Another Day.
Even Die Another Day.
You're going to get us.
But this movie is worse than Die Another Day.
Paramount.
And I'll tell you why. Because they mix the silly and the serious in the worst possible way. The tone, sex scenes. They say, all right, you want to jump to a ridiculous sex scene? It was just really tonally terrible. Here's your rule of thumb when you mix in tone. Either you start with silly and then you put serious in it, like say Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thank you.
Guardians,
you
right.
do stuff like that. You start with your silly comic book stuff for the kids, and then you put serious stuff in it. That's how you're supposed to do it. Do not ever, because you fall into an uncanny valley where you have serious stuff and then you decide to put silly in it, and very rarely that works. Very rarely it is a serious gamble, and this gamble, boy, they went a crapshoot. Right. Snake eyes.
So before I get to your rating, I know you're like itching to say it's a low this, it's a high this, right? I will.
No, yeah.
Go. Right. So let me just say what I have to say about the film, right? Alright, so just premise-wise, what the story is about. So it follows probably a few months after the events of Skyfall. So now MI6 is still underground because of what happened in Skyfall, where the MI6 building got exploded, got blown up by Silver, which was still a better villain in the Daniel Craig Bond universe thingy than this villain that we were given here. But I'll get to that later. Yeah. So Bond gets this message from a particular individual who shows up, who has this really kind of interesting cameo. I didn't see it coming, but that person is there, right? And he's told to look for a certain person. And while he's looking for that person, and this is like behind the back of M, who's played by Ray Fiennes now. Yeah. So he's doing all this stuff, and he's telling Moneypenny and he's telling Q, to more or less kind of keep him in the shadows, make sure that M doesn't find out what I'm doing. I just have to do this. It's personal. It's about my past. I want to find out what's going on. So just allow me to do my thing, and just keep me aside. Right? Cool, no problem. Right? So he's doing this stuff, right? And meanwhile, we're given this sort of it tries to be interesting, but it's really not. This really boring kind of subplot about MI6 being part of this new company now, and this guy by the name of C. I forgot the actor's name, but I know he played Moriarty in Sherlock. Yeah, very decent show. Overrated, I find, but still a very decent show. Yeah, and it's basically the plot of Rogue Nation. Well, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which is a better film, by the way.
I did see that one.
Yeah.
Actually, can I just say, this This is the year for spy movies, isn't it?
It was.
We had Kingsman,
Yeah.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
Yeah.
Rogue Nation, and now Spectre.
And don't forget Spy.
Yeah, we had Spy.
I forgot that.
It's a great conspiracy.
Which is a great trope of Spy movie. By the way, Spy is infinitely better than this movie.
And it's funnier, funnier in the right way.
I have to admit, when I first saw I haven't seen Spy, although I actually do want to, because when I first saw the posters, Jason's Station.
No, he was great in it.
Jude Law. I actually honestly wanted to kind of buddy cop spy movie with those two, and then I saw Melissa McCarthy. Oh, they're for comedy. That kind of threw me off a bit. But I've seen some things since then. I do think this is something I should watch at some point. But this has been a year for spy movies, though.
It's all a conspircy.
It's make a comeback whenever you have to. It's working cycles. So, your superheroes, and like we haven't had a Western run in a while. So
there's Hateful Eight coming out,
right?
Yeah.
And Bone Tomahawk's coming out.
It actually did come out.
We got a lot of Westerns this year as well.
Bone Tomahawk. Eightful Eight's coming out later.
Which one showed in the film festival? I didn't go to the film
festival. Slow West was there.
That's pretty good.
What was that? There's another Western I saw. Was it recently?
No, but
Lone Rain.
No.
Anyway.
Right. So he's on this quest, and he learns a few things about his life, about his past, how he became an orphan, who took him in and whatnot, and all this searching and stuff leads him to the evil secret organization known as Spectre. And and Spectre is like from the early Bond films, they were the guys that more or less were doing all the bad shit and whatnot, and every villain that came out were related to them.
The original Cobra.
Yeah, the original Cobra. And there was this one particular guy that ran Spectre by the name of Blofeld. Mm-hmm. He was the inspiration for Dr. Evil. He had the bald head. He had that cat he was always stroking. And there's a little homage that he did in Spectre where he saw a cat like that. I was like, oh, that's clever. All right, I see what he did there. Okay. A little out of feel, but all right.
I was incredibly worried when I saw the trailer. I was incredibly worried, and this is this is what I call the worst of all possible words. When you could predict what's going to happen, but at least if you predict it, if it's still executed well, you don't mind that much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was executed horribly. When you saw the trailer, you saw one of the pictures and the face cut out, and it's like they're not gonna do this. I hope they're not gonna do this. Are they gonna do this? And they did it. I was like, are they not serious? Yeah. Anyway, go through.
Right. So this search leads him to this one particular guy. I believe he was in the Quantum of Solace.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna get into this. And I'm gonna talk right after we finish it. I'm gonna vent.
And right. So this guy from Quantum of Solace was a former member of Spectre, and he left for some odd reason. Right. So Bond finds him in Austria, and there's this really kind of like chase scene that takes place with some cars and a plane and whatnot and explosions and stuff, right? So the guy that he meets up tells him that he has a daughter that's still alive and he wants Bond to protect her. So this is the second Bond girl. The first Bond girl is Monica Bellucci, who happens to be related to the guy that Bond was chasing for, I think, 5 minutes in the opening sequence. So I'm not sure what her role was there, because she was just really there for like 4 minutes.
No, it was an incredibly tacky moment, and it came across really strange because, like, wait, she just, the man just dead though.
Yeah, and it's like, he attends her husband's. Sorry, Bond goes to her husband's funeral, and then afterwards he's trying to get information from her, and then he sleeps with her. And, same Bond shit that you've seen before, right? Right, so he meets up with the new girl, and then it's like, okay, now we have to try and actually not try to. The same guy from Spectre finds them and then brings him to his evil lair / mansion. Right. And then he kind of like reveals all his plans and whatnot and what he's trying to do. And it's the same sort of global domination stuff that we've seen from most of the older films. And we were kind of thinking that with this new change with the Bond, we weren't going to get this whole cliched world domination kind of stuff, but it's Spectre, so we have to go back to that. And that was really the main issue that I have. One of the main issues I have with this film is that, okay, I see that they were trying to start back the clock with the end of Skyfall, more or less bringing in M, bringing in Moneypenny and Q and whatnot. So it's more or less you're starting back the franchise more or less, but just with new actors and whatnot. So, okay, I understand you want to bring back Spectre, the big evil organization from the old films. Cool. But you have this thing where Bond is trying to find out about his past and whatnot, and it doesn't spend too much time on it. It's like, hey, there's a picture of me when I was young with my parents, but they don't spend too much time. You think they're going to go in deep because of what Skyfall did, but no, it's just...
The movie was horribly placed.
Yeah, it was.
Horribly placed.
And then at the same time, they're cutting back to these moments with M trying to really having a war with words with C now about... C wanted to replace MI6 with technology and drones because, that's the way of the future. Technology is the way of the future. We don't need secret agents or assassins, as they call them in the film, going around doing jobs. No, we have cameras and, surveillance and whatnot. And he's like, no, I don't want that, And, you're trying to care about it. And you keep cutting back and forth with Bond, and then you have this new Bond girl, and she's just serviceable. She's not really there to really assist Bond. It's just like, oh well, you have to protect me. Okay, I could do better. I could protect myself.
No, yeah.
But it doesn't really work because he still comes in and saves her. Saves her countless times.
Yes, again, one of the big problems is two things. One, again, when I said you don't need to make this too complicated. The idea that they decided to make this link all the films in this way, in the worst possible way, it's like, oh well, everybody's connected and it's all connected.
Yeah, that's one thing though, because the villain comes in and says, oh well, I was there all the time.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I was there, and but the thing that made no sense to me though is when he said, well, for those who haven't seen Skyfall, the M character played by Judi Dench died, and this new villain now, Christopher Waltz, comes and says, well, I had a part to play in that too.
Like, what?
Aha!
I'm like, what? That I hated that.
No, he didn't. No. There wasn't even a hint of Spectre in that film.
Things. They reveal what his true nature was, A, and B, his true relationship to Bond, which again is incredibly stupid.
That was dumb. I was not even going to spoil, but it was dumb.
It was really stupid. And then the second, what is even worse is the reason why he's doing all he's doing. I was like, what kind of stupid? This don't make any sense, right? No, it was bad.
Well, when you say they link all the movies, do they confirm the fan theory of Bond being a code name?
No.
No, not like that. Okay.
No,
it's not that.
They link all the Daniel Craig thing as one linear thing. No, again,
I was.
Here's the thing: why Skyfall worked is because it was separate from Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale. Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace being together was kind of cool. I actually thought that was kind of clever. Okay. It's just being two films, and they kind of ended off. Even though Quantum of Solace was kind of terrible.
Kind of terrible, you
say. It was pretty terrible. Pretty terrible, I should say.
Pretty disappointed, but yeah.
Even though it was pretty bad, I would say it still kind of was cool in the sense of, it's still kind of leading off from what Casino Royale was.
Yeah, and that's cool though, because Quantum really start right where Casino stop off now.
Yeah.
They mention characters and things that happen right from Casino
Skyfall
Royale.
starts back and say, alright, cool, Skyfall getting a reboot. It's Batman Begins, and now you're doing Batman Dark Knight. We get the analogy, but it works.
Yeah, you don't have to forget. You don't have to worry about what happened in Casino or Quantum.
And now, in true stupidity, they decide, we're gonna link everything and make it this big. Like again, you know what they're doing? They're trying to trends Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I mean, even the old Bond films never did that.
Never did that. And another thing is that the whole point of Bond being episodic works because it's his job. It's his job being a spy. So the idea that him just being on an adventure and just doing random stuff, and he just starts action sequence. And
that's it. Yeah, you want to make it like a season 1 of a film, and then it's like, season finale. Oh, I was the guy behind it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, no, but
yeah, that's how it felt like.
I was the mastermind the whole time.
Yeah. This stupid Xanatos Gambit decided to do so retarded. Oh
gosh, Xanatos. Oh yeah, Gargoyles. Yeah, he was the guy who's always behind everything.
I love Gargoyles. I love Gargoyles.
Anyway,
good analogy there.
But the utter silliness of it, and they try to do where, he planned everything. They want to make this linear, and it's like, no, James Bond has a license to kill. Literally, he could you can make it an episodic script, and
even have a few lines about M is talking to C about what license to kill means. It's like having a license to kill means that you don't have a license to kill. Yeah. It sounded dumb, but the way how it was structured, it was kind of like,
everything. Sorry to say, everything in this movie was first draft. Everything was first draft. First draft script, first draft acting, first draft take, first edit draft, first, everything was just so unpolished. That was the big takeaway from this movie.
But to me, this is the ironic thing about the whole film, and I think this will be to his detriment. This is one of the most expensive movies ever right now. It costs practically about, I think it's $240 million, and it shows on screen.
What?
The set pieces, the action sequences, the explosions. There's like 2 explosions. You're watching this thing like,
right.
That can't be CG, right?
No.
The camera's on this thing. That's CG. No.
Both scenes were utterly implausible and impractical. So they had the part where there's one part where they escape from the villain. So you shoot this thing and it blow up. And then the whole blaze blow up. And I'm like, that's supposed to be part of our plan somehow? What? And
and then the next one is like, you've seen all these rigged charges, so like, boom. But I'll round up and then you can get to your review. Your score, right? So visually it looks good. Sam Mendes, director, he did the last one, so it looks very good. Acting for the most part is pretty good. Daniel Craig does his thing, Lisa Lu does his thing, Batista is just there to
just be big in
just to be the big tug. I find he could have done more.
Looking muscular in a suit. That's it.
Christoph Waltz, when he's there, and he's probably there for like 3-4 times. When he's there, and he does a good job being there. But he was wasted as a villain. He didn't stand out as much as Silver. And I know a lot of people argue that you had to wait halfway into Skyfall to see Silver. No. But when he was there, he made his presence known. No, he did things. The
thing in Silver, at least Silver would. I think Skyfall is an incredibly flawed film. I'm not going to defend Skyfall as the best thing ever.
Hey, teach his own.
I thought Skyfall. I was actually shocked how many people like Skyfall.
I love it. Come on.
I went to see Skyfall and I went to see it in IMAX and I was like, that opening shot where he just comes into focus.
Yeah.
Skyfall looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with it. And what makes Skyfall work is how polished this was. Problem with this film, completely unpolished.
Yeah, it just that's the thing. The story felt way too rushed. Like, just they could have given it a couple more rewrites. Really try to figure it out. I agree with Ricardo in terms of the tone. It's like, okay, we were going for the serious thing before. And now we're trying to go back to the whole 60s.
Yeah.
I have these little gadgets in my car and whatnot,
nonsense. It had that part like right when the Batista characters leave this film, right? Spoiler alert, he dies. Wow. Yeah. Right, the muscle guy dies. Anyway, right after that, they had like this stupid throwaway line, and it's like something like, "Well, what are we gonna do now?" Something like that. Then
then you have this sex scene.
That's like, what is this nonsense?
It was more laughable though. It was very laughable.
I laughed at it. God, no, I was laughing at this movie. It wasn't laugh with you, because usually with Bond, it's laugh with you.
Yeah.
Not laugh at you. This movie was a laugh at you.
Oh, what was funny too is that they used the theme song writings on the wall.
Right.
The theme song from the score that was done for the instrumental.
Oh, by the
way,
that
scene, we have to talk about that song though.
No, the opening sequence was pretty cool. It was a little lazy in terms of the CGI and the look. A little lazy, but it had this really cool part that looked like a kind of Louis Buñuel sequence where it had a bunch of eyes.
Yes.
Tentacles and that looked cool. Yeah. And the whole idea is the surveillance analogy now.
My thing
not
though.
Not my favorite opening sequence, but not the worst. It wasn't that bad.
Alright, my thing though, I will compare that to the sequence from Quantum of Solace.
Right.
Which
one is the one with the sand?
That was Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
Right, and you what I mean, like you're looking at it, and the thing with these Bond sequences though is that it gives you hints of what to expect, it's like Skyfall, for example. Brilliant.
Love Skyfall.
You saw all the little teams like the
great subtext for what is occurring.
The Skyfall mansion, the deer statue that was there, the crosses, the funerals, all that kind of stuff.
So just a quick note to Claude, because you never saw any James Bond films. Again, heresy.
Heresy.
Yeah, although the idea, every opening sequence has it's basically a dream of the film. That's what it is. It's like a visual of it. It's like a person having a DMT style ayahuasca dream of what the film is.
Okay. Yeah, that's so what it is. Stylish, and it has to match with the song.
Right.
The song has to flow with these images.
My personal favorite opening sequence is Live and Let Die.
Oh yeah.
Song is awesome.
Live and Let Die.
Opening sequence, awesome. The movie is not that good, but
it was fun. I would say that it was fun. In a 70s kind of way.
One of my favorite opening sequences. Goldfinger's pretty good.
Yeah, Goldfinger was decent.
Which one is the one with Tina Turner did?
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. Awesome. awesome wooden sequence. This one is okay, but it was still a little lazy because it had this with the fire woman, and then they like to do the mirror shot. So Craig is looking pretty freaky. He has
this kind of like stone kind of.
But because everything is because the shot is mirrored, it's a blatantly mirrored shot. It's not Daniel Craig in the CG. You know, it's like they took half of him and then they cut it. So it looks like him mirrored. So it looks really kind of when you
Two-Face.
Right, when you do the mirror shot, it does look at. It's supposed to like attractive people. There's a quick psychology lesson and film psychology lesson. Human beings, rule of thumb is attractive by symmetry, right? But if like you make it
oval faces,
but if you make it too symmetrical, it goes into the uncanny valley. So the person looks like a kind of strange robot kind of thing. You're not sure. So when you take a mirror shot of your face, it's supposed to be, it's quote unquote perfectly symmetrical. It's more symmetrical than a normal attractive face, but it looks strange. Yeah. And if you look at Craig's face in this, it looks like that. It doesn't look like Craig's face.
Right.
And Craig is not that, he's not a particularly like a big, handsome debonair Bond. He's a roughneck Bond. It looks stranger because of how he looks.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Because it had that whole dream sequence, the fire, then Christopher
and the tentacles and whatnot. I mean, visually it looks really good.
Yeah, so it had a kind of hentai porn moment there.
Yeah, like, a lot of tentacle porn kind of stuff here. Yeah, I actually said, hey, why do I look like tentacle porn? So,
but like, alright.
But one thing though, I would say what made me kind of disappointed, like even with Skyfall, they give you all these teams, all these visual teams, you know?
Yeah.
But even with all the tentacle stuff and, the chicks and whatnot, it didn't tie in on film.
Thank you.
It didn't.
It did not tie in on film.
You're seeing all these like little promises on screen, like, okay, we're going to get deep. You're going to see the tentacles of Spectre. We're going to see how deep they went into this man's life, and it didn't show it.
What I would have done with it personally, again, this script needed a serious script doctor and to sit down and just fix this mess. But the big problem with it is that they should have had a person who was close to Bond, a person that really close to Bond betray. But the thing is, how close you're gonna get? It couldn't be Moneypenny. Moneypenny too clean.
I remember you're starting back.
Like if Moneypenny
start back the clockness, you can't really do that.
If Moneypenny was a character who would be kind of evil or turn on Bond, that'd be kind of badass. But
Nah. But the way how character was established, no, it wouldn't work.
Right, Moneypenny's too close to Bond for that to work.
Yeah.
Same thing with M. Refines Bond. M is not a person that you would twist. So the person that who's so obviously the villain, who's the person that so obviously going to betray them as the bad guy, he's the one. Duh.
Yeah.
Derp.
Right, and the next thing though, the song, I know a lot of people, like when the song came out, people didn't like it because they found that Sam Smith who sung the song Writings on the Wall, it sounded too whiny, it just sounded like, a little too much of falsettos. It just didn't feel too much like a Bond team. It just felt like, heartbreak and loss. It felt like that, But I was just want to say, okay, let me just hear it in the context of the film. I mean, with the exception of that dumb sex scene where the instrumental plays in the background. Yeah, but to me, it didn't work. Like Adele's Skyfall, it worked where it kind of felt like this sort of funeral dirge, but it felt like there was some chance of rebirth. Even with the lyrics, we could stand tall and face it all together. That kind of thing. But in this one, Writings on the Wall, you see one shot of like the agents who died from the last one on this wall, and then James Bond's name is written in red, but it still doesn't tie into what the song is about. It's still, in other words, you're not sure exactly what the song really is about, what it has to do with the film. Yeah. I mean, it sounds good. I mean, Sam Smith could sing, but it just didn't work.
Okay, so I'm just gonna my last little piece, and I'm
gonna yeah. Go ahead.
You keep coming up with new ways to hate this movie.
No. The biggest crime of this film is this, and I think I mentioned it before. The biggest crime of this is how unpolished everything is. Here's the thing with James Bond films. James Bond always had a little tinge of whatever the trend of movies was. That is not the biggest crime, right? You can look back at James Bond films, it was this, and they used to follow that, or this sci-fi, or whatever.
So GoldenEye, like for example, had like the 90s action throwback.
Right, but here's what James Bond does very well, is that it takes that and says, hey, you could take all of these elements, take all of these themes, take all of these trends, take all of these approaches, styles, and then we're going to polish that to a shine.
Yeah.
And you're gonna that's what Skyfall did. Right? Yeah. Now Skyfall, again, I don't think Skyfall is a perfect film. And following a film that already polished it to a shine, Dark Knight, it didn't really work that well. But it still was a very, very, very well shot, well done movie. Well edited, well paced. Yeah. It worked for the most part. Right? I understand why people I didn't like Skyfall all that much, but I understand why people like Skyfall. It is a very well made film. Mm-hmm. This movie is it felt amateurish. This is beneath the standard of Bond. I am sorry. So my rating for this film,
Give it.
I give this film a low globe.
I thought you was gonna say a low IMAX because no disrespect to those who spent money to see it in IMAX, but I am so sorry for it.
Yeah, you're wasting money.
I am so sorry all this spent that money and watching IMAX.
This movie gets a low globe. I wouldn't give it a Palladium. I wouldn't give it a Capsco. I'll give it a low globe. It is not the worst Bond film. It is one of the worst. I have to say that. It was one of the worst. It just, the structure
Out of
was
curiosity,
a mess.
as someone who wants to crash watch that series at some point,
Watch it.
which is the worst? Which is the worst?
The worst, probably Man with the Golden Gun.
Okay.
Probably.
Alright, like every Bond actor always have like a crappy film. So Roger Moore had Man with the Golden Gun, which I skipped.
Yeah.
He had A View to a Kill, which I skipped. For Your Eyes Only, which I generally didn't enjoy. I hated that theme song, by the way.
Yeah.
Hated that. Yeah. So Pierce Brosnan, Die Another Day.
No, okay.
Was not enough.
Pierce
Was
is
kinda
an interesting Bond because
You know?
they try to really like truly balance Bond properly into one proper amalgamation Bond, and it didn't really work because the scripts were so bad. So I like GoldenEye. The one right after GoldenEye was excellent. That is,
Tomorrow Never Dies. I enjoyed that.
Right,
yeah.
and then they did World Is Not Enough. World Is Not Enough is so bad. That was so bad.
I just thought it was just forgettable. It wasn't like
there's only one cool thing about World Is Not Enough, and that's this opening, this boat. Yeah, this in the beginning of the film. This awesome boat. This like super fast kind of motorbike boat thing.
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
awesome.
That was in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
And that opening sequence, by the way, I think it was like 20 minutes long. I think it's like the longest
but it was great.
opening
It was
sequence.
a really kick-ass action sequence.
Yeah.
Then you had
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day is not that bad compared to World Is Not Enough. It was really a very silly movie.
It was just goofy.
That's the problem with Die Another Day. Die Another Day was
silly has never been a deterrent for me.
That's the thing. No, okay. So the problem, but with the defense of Die Another Day is that even though I hated it personally, it is a film that either have you or don't have you. It was very polarizing amongst Bond fans because either you embrace the silliness, right? Yeah, either you embrace the silliness completely or you reject the silliness. I was one of those that rejected the silliness. I was like, yeah, this is Austin Powers. This is very silly and stupid. But a lot of people liked it. They liked the big twist with with what happened with the North Korean guy. Yeah, good. No, just bring it on. We eating stuff. You're supposed to hear stuff clacking and clinging in the background. So that's
and you know everybody liked Halle Berry as well. So I think that was the only reason why people watched it.
Halle Berry was a big selling movie. But I actually
Halle Berry was a selling point.
Yeah, she was a selling
at the time.
Because I think she just came off a Monsters Ball.
So
there was a year after Monsters Ball.
Was this before Catwoman?
Yes.
Oh boy.
How ironic, huh?
Good God.
Matthew, final words about this?
Alright, so I didn't hate Spectre as much as Ricardo did. Yes. I really wanted to like it a lot, but they really held back too much on the story. It had potential of being so much better than what we got, you know? Yeah. It could have delved a little deeper into Bond, and even if they didn't want to, even if they didn't want to spend time on it, they just wanted to focus on, you know, the future of MI6, or, you know, which it could have made a lot more interesting. And even the whole Spectre secret organization and you know what they were really doing. I find they just didn't spend enough time on either one, and when they did spend time, it just didn't feel that interesting to me, especially with the Spectre. I find that whole Spectre acting was really disappointing. It's like, okay, hey, I'm the member of Spectre, and we did this, but we don't really see them do anything, you know, even right down to the villains. Like, I'm the villain, look at me, ha 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 ha. But he doesn't really do anything, you know.
Dumb.
Yeah, so I would say if
the organization was so shadowy that we didn't see them do anything.
Exactly. Even in Rogue Nation, you saw the syndicate do things. You saw them. Yeah. You saw them try to assassinate a person. You know, all that kind of stuff.
But that's your review, Matthew.
Yeah, but anyway, just in closing, I really wanted to give this 3.5 out of 5 just because it wasn't a terrible Bond movie, but right now it's between a 3 and a 3.5. So I would say don't see it in IMAX.
3.25.
See it on big screen. If you like, I mean, it's a technically from a technical perspective, it's still a very decent film. Just don't go in expecting too much. If you want to wait till it comes out on home media, fine, no problem. But
And
Yeah, just don't spend money on seeing the IMAX.
The sad part is that this is what Daniel Craig's last film, so they
It is, no, because I'm not.
Period?
But at least they kind of make it out.
I know it's his last Bond movie.
Yeah,
Right, no,
they kind of
last.
set it up as if it is his last, right? Really,
I think it's his last. I think it's his
No,
last.
I know that I've heard that quite clearly. He's
Wow.
not interested in making other Bond movies
Yeah,
after this.
so that
Yeah.
means they have to reboot this.
So they gotta get someone else.
I don't know.
Oh, and by the way.
Tom Hiddleston.
Wait. By the way, for a Bond film, you would assume that a show like this, coming off of Skyfall, would end with a bang.
Thank you.
Nope, it ends with a whisper.
Oh,
Trust me.
Whimper.
It ends with a whimper.
Horrible.
Like I would
do
honestly
Will
admit, near the end of this film, I almost blacked out. Like I just started none of
Sad.
myself, and then I woke up and like, wait,
You're done.
it almost done. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in it again.
Sad.
Yeah, the ending, the climax was very underwhelming. My God.
Sad.